Experts in the climate change space are calling for debt cancellation of unsustainable debts by multilateral institutions and development partners. Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance Executive Director Mithika Mwenda says the existing terms of borrowing are unfavourable to developing countries like Kenya, creating barriers in mobilising the finances needed for long-term investments in climate mitigation and adaptation.
A report by ActionAid reveals that rich nations owe African countries a significant climate debt, estimated at $36 trillion. This debt stems from the historic and ongoing disproportionate contributions of developed nations to greenhouse gas emissions, which have become a major concern for the global south. Resultantly, industry players say there is a need to restructure climate financing mechanisms for all global south countries to help free up resources for climate action and other national needs.
It is still the framework which is being applied in Africa. That is why it has failed. And so we need to promote a more democratic and representative structure of global economic governance, whether at World Bank and other institutions.
The Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance Executive Director, Dr. Mwenda Mithika, says financial institutions should provide grant-based, additional climate finance rather than loans to not add to the debt burden of climate-vulnerable countries.
We are fighting now for debt cancellation and transform the unjust international financial architecture. And we have the momentum. We want to work with climate movements, economic justice movements, tax justice movements, debt campaigns, the reality of aid, and those others.
PACJA is also urging governments to support the ongoing reforms of the global financial architecture that will address the need for a fair, transparent, and multilateral framework for debt crisis resolution.
We expected 1.3 trillion as Africa. That was our minimum demand. But we were threatened, manipulated, we were carrot dangled, and eventually we settled on $300 billion a year, when trillions are clearly required to meet the scale of the climate emergency.
The remarks emerged during the unveiling of the Climate and Economic Justice campaign by the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance in partnership with Global Climate Action Partnership that seeks to unify voices on key themes including climate action, economic justice and social equity, all underpinned by a call for a just transition and global solidarity. Ndota Mokami for Prime Edition.